On this episode of the Corpus Animus Podcast, we get to know teen athlete Kaiden Hogan. When he came to us, he looked like this, and now he's cut back on a lot of cardio and MetCons, and he looks like this. So in this episode, we're going to talk about how doing less was more when it came to his strength, and we're going to get to know him a little bit. Let's go.
If you need help getting better at things like the snatch, clean and jerk, pistols, handstand walk, handstand push-ups, toes to bar, chest to bar, ring muscle-ups, or double unders, go to trainingthinktank.com to learn more. Got Kaiden Hogan on the podcast. Welcome, my friend. Show everyone what you're eating for breakfast. Go ahead and pull them up.
God.
How old are you?
Bites?
17.
No. Talking to the mic.
17.
17. Is that what your normal breakfast looks like?
No. It's not normal.
Give me the rundown. I know you've gained some weight over the last year.
Honestly, usually it's just cereal and a protein shake. But since school's out, I can do like eggs and now, but eggs and stuff now.
I've got a 17-year-old cursing on the podcast.
That's probably because I was just doing a whole bunch of cursing before we turned the mics on.
You got him too comfortable in here.
Eggs and stuff.
Yeah.
Eggs and stuff.
All right.
To his credit, though, he f***ed up when he said shit. He said
God, I'm so bad at impression.
True.
It's probably because you ate Sour Punch bites for breakfast. Had you had your eggs in sit, you probably would have said it right.
That's what I'm saying. It's not my fault.
My wife loves those too, and my kids. I mean, I guess every kid. I hate just regular sugar candy. I'd much rather have like just a piece of bread.
Who is this guy?
No, I'm just.
I would rather like if I'm gonna have stuff that's like more calories than I want, like a little treat. Let's say I don't want candy. I'd like give me another slice of pizza.
That's what I'm saying. Like, give me something savory or that's more filling.
A steak.
Yeah, I'd rather salt over sugar.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's just get some carbs in your system before you train today.
Yeah, I was just what was in the car.
All right, so tell me a little bit about how you jumped into CrossFit, because this is a young man who's been doing it now for what, 4 years, 5 years?
Like if I'm counting like the 1 hour sessions, maybe like 6.
6 years.
Yeah.
All right, so give us a little background on how you jumped into it.
So like the first like 2 years, it was just because my dad did it. My sister a little, but mainly because my dad did it. So I just wanted to go do it.
You have
with
an
him.
older sister?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that. I've seen you have a younger sister too, right?
Probably should look over there.
Yeah, you're all right. Just talking to the mic.
Yes, I have an older and younger sister. One's 20 and one's 11.
So basically your dad was going to the CrossFit gym, and you're like, hey, I want to tag along with you?
Yeah.
Okay. And that was, how old were you?
I think it was like 10 or 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
And were you doing the kids classes, or were you actually jumping into just like the regular class?
I just did the regular class with him.
At what point did you realize this is something I actually enjoy?
Like over COVID, I just like worked out all day.
Yeah.
So I was like, and then I found out about the games. I was like, oh, make a run for that.
And were you the kid that was like watching all the YouTube videos at the time, trying to figure out like which teen you could beat and all that?
Yes, that was me.
Yeah. All right. So
So how old were you at that point?
I was about 13, 14.
Okay, and you're 17 now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I love that.
Hold on, are you going to dive further into this CrossFit stuff? Because I want to know what you were doing before CrossFit. What kind of kid were you? What were you watching on
soccer.
Netflix?
I don't remember really. Honestly, I always did like something. I would do like 6-7 hours of soccer before this. And I just switched it to some CrossFit, and then
6 or 7 hours per week?
Taking over. Oh no, like day over COVID.
Man.
I would just go play soccer with friends.
No wonder you were so tiny.
Yeah. Well,
just run all day.
Chris, I want you to pull up some photos and put them at some point.
You would have seen them in the intro if you're on YouTube.
Yeah, so then if you're listening, go to YouTube and watch this, because the first time I saw you, you were probably like, I don't know, what'd you weigh in a year and a half ago?
Like before the games, I went to the games at 15. I was like 98 pounds.
98
Yeah, I was like the only one. I was like, everyone else was 30, 40 pounds heavier.
Right. And how much do you weigh now?
Like 150.
So you've gained basically, let's just call it 50 pounds to round it out. You've gained 50 pounds over the last year and a half.
Yeah, pretty much.
And how much taller have you gotten?
Like a few inches.
A few inches,
not
but you've
crazy,
but you've like actually like thickened up, right? It was funny because you, this is probably like a month ago now, but you had your shirt off in there for something. I was like, man, he's like jacked now. I was like super impressed because, again, to your point, the first time I saw you in here, you were like just a little green bean. The mean green Kaiden machine. Teen green Kaiden machine. You know what I mean?
Yep.
What a nickname.
What did that process look like for you as far as like you got into it and then you started looking at all these other teens, you realized it's something that you wanted to do? Was it like, okay, I want to make the games, and you talked to your dad? Did you talk to a coach? Like how did you start that process?
Well, I did it when I was 14, which was the first year I could do it.
Yeah.
I got 30th or 20th or something like that. It was kind of close, way closer than I thought. So I was
before you go into that, was it, I'm just going to do the open, or 6 months out, you're like, I'm going to really train for this and then try to make the games?
Well, I'd always done the open just with the class.
Okay.
And never put it in. So this was the first year I put it in.
Right.
And
You knew that
it's the next stage, which was surprising to me. So.
Yeah. And then once you get to that next stage, where were you at?
Well, I didn't make it the first year, but then I trained really hard that year and made it.
What were you doing for your training after that first year or the first attempt to make the games?
I just trained more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You just kind of doing your own thing?
Then, so
right.
I just did my own thing.
Was your dad helping you out at all?
A little bit. I would do the class and I would do some extra stuff with him.
Yeah. What did that look like?
Whatever I wanted to do, whatever I sucked at.
But how did you identify, I guess the most people jump into it, right? And they have these assumptions of I did bad at that workout compared to the class, and so I need to work on that. So they do another workout that's similar to that? Or were you actually diving into I need to get muscle up, so I'm going to do all these skills and drills for the muscle up?
No, I would just keep trying to do a muscle up until I could get it.
So intelligent training to start.
Yeah, I got all those movements strict first and then learned them kipping.
Okay. So were you doing a strict muscle up right away? I mean, at 98 pounds, I feel like you probably could do a strict muscle up.
It took me a second. I think I got my first ring muscle up at 13.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, 13.
All right, give me your numbers when you were 13. Where were your strength numbers? What was your back squat, your overhead squat, your front squat?
I don't remember exactly, but probably not too big. I remember I didn't snatch 135 till maybe 15. So before that, it was around 100.
Yeah. And were you working diligently on your strength, or was it more just doing regular CrossFit workouts?
Yeah, just CrossFit. I like going in. I would do lifting, but most of it would just be working out or long stuff.
Yeah. All right. So you in 2021, then, right? You're 15.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's when you make the game. So walk us through that process of how you trained that year, going into the open. Were you really focused and knew that was your year to make it?
I was just I was I'll give it my all. I think I can make it, but we'll see. I ended up, I think I did 5th in the open. Or no, it was 8th in the open and then 10th in the next stage, which then got me. It was qualify was top 20 that year.
Right.
And then when I went to the games, I didn't have a coach until after quarterfinals. After I knew I was going to the games, I got one for 3 months.
Yeah.
But then I hurt my back right before the games, and that kind of screwed me.
What happened?
I did a games prep the week before the games.
Oof.
And I went a little too hard and then hurt my back.
Do you remember what the workout was?
No, I was kind of a combination of everything. I was I kind of tweaked it and then went and trained the next day and the day after.
Yeah, it's one of those things you can't bend over without hurting.
Yes.
Okay. I remember you at the games that year, and you were maybe was the first event a run event or second event, and you just crushed everyone, right?
Yeah.
You were way out in front. How did that feel?
That was good. I got a lot of clout for that.
I think you jumped up. You did a flip over the finish line or something.
Very bad handspring.
That's all right. You're having fun. Did you know at that point you could be competitive, or were you trying to podium, or was it more I'm going to take advantage of the events because you obviously have a huge engine?
Yeah, I knew my running was really good compared to everything else I can do. So I was I'm just gonna send it and go hard on this one. And it's paid off, but still, with my back, I didn't do 3 events out of our 7.
So did you pull out of those events, or?
I did 1 rep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was just
45-pound snatch.
Did you have conversations with the game staff about what you were going to do?
Yeah, it was if I couldn't do some reps or something like that, I would have to be disqualified. So I had to do 1 thing on each.
Yeah. So then you finished 8th, 9th that year?
8th.
8th.
Yeah.
So even without doing 3 of the 7 events, you still finished in the top 10. That's pretty impressive.
Yes.
Awesome. So you finished the games, and now what? Where are you at? So your back's hurt. You know where you're at. You finished 8th. There's a lot of guys still in front of you. What's the long-term goal at that point in your career?
Let my back recover and then get really big.
Yeah.
So I'm not weak.
So what did training look like then?
Well, I kind of started with Max around then, a few months after the games. And it was weird because he taught me a bunch of new stuff. It was he cut my training back by 2 hours and added 2 hours extra of sleep, which I think really helped.
Hold on. Talk about cutting the training back. Why?
I don't know. He kind of showed me that like less kind of gets you stronger sometimes, and like too much
all the
is
time.
bad.
What was the extra? What was the stuff he cut out that you were doing?
A lot of running and cardio.
Well, that's what
I would just lift all day.
That's what I was trying to ask earlier. Is like give us a training day, because I've seen or at least heard some of the stuff that you were doing. Like you don't have to talk about like every single detail, but like how many sessions, what were the workouts, how much strength work versus how much cardio were you doing? Lay it all out.
Talking about before max?
Before max, yeah.
It was usually like 2 sessions a day, and then it would be mainly just lifting or like machine sprints.
Yeah.
Like usually it wouldn't be like any workouts other than like sprinting workouts for like power.
Yeah. And then what would the second session look like?
Both would be like that. Yeah.
You just do a bunch of lifting and then machine sprints.
Yeah.
All right. What were you doing like for CrossFit training?
I just like didn't do much CrossFit.
Okay.
Like a year.
Yeah. Now I'm talking about before max.
Oh, before.
Yeah.
It would just be a lot of.
I was going to say this
stuff.
sounds like what would have been switched to. Okay, so
Yeah,
before max.
Oh, okay, yes. Before max, it was just like I would just always be running or biking in between sessions, and most of my sessions would just be like one lift and like 2 or 3 MetCons.
Yeah.
Just 2 or 3 MetCons.
So
well, like the MetCons would have like barbell stuff, so I was like, oh, I'm still getting stronger, but
yeah. Okay. So like, let's just say you do a lift. Okay, I'm gonna do my back squat progressions today, and then you go into 3 7-minute AMRAPs. Like that's each one of those is considered a MetCon, or would you do like a MetCon, rest for a while, do another MetCon, rest for a while, do another MetCon?
See, I'd usually do that. I'd like rest a while between them, and like if I was doing like back squats, I'd do like maybe like. I remember I did this one. It was like 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 of GHDs, and then you do 30 back squats between each. Yeah. All my sets for anything was like 15 plus reps.
Right. Which is a great way for you to get a little more enduring as long as you're doing it correctly. But I think the problem there is, as you know now, that it's really hard to get strong that way.
I was like, the more painful it is, the better you're going to get.
Yeah. And I think I probably started that way too in a lot of endeavors, like even playing football growing up. I always wanted to just go harder, especially when I was your age. But then looking back now, I'm like, man, there were so many mistakes that I made and a lot of injuries and other issues that were caused because sometimes we think harder is better, but really it's like smarter is better, especially in that scenario where everything is like so metabolic. Mm-hmm. So you move over to Max, and now he's cutting down your training. And even if you agree, or even if you understand why he's doing that, it's still a hard process for you mentally, right? Like anytime you're doing
way less.
Yeah, exactly. So did you feel like you were like losing a lot of fitness?
Like I still like kept the abs kind of, so I was like, oh, I'm all right.
His indicator of fitness is if he has a 6-pack.
I was like, it was very different. Like I didn't really know to like trust it. Like I kept adding reps and sets to everything, but I'm still doing that, but I'm getting a little better.
But even as he's telling you, like, we're going to cut this back, what was your brain saying? Were you fighting against it? And even though you were like, I just hired this guy, I got to trust him, were you still?
It was a little bit of both. Like my dad was telling me I just need to trust him, and like doing all this extra stuff is why he got hurt. So I need to just listen to Max and trust him.
You just said that you just said that you're still adding reps and sets.
Just a little. We're way less now than we were adding before.
So last year you started with him, and then you go through the season. Where'd you end up?
Like this year.
No. So that after the 2021 season, going into 2022, you have like a gap year, right?
Yeah.
So you were still training, and then like, did you have the conversation with him that you were going to wait a full year to kind of get back to competitive
I told him
CrossFit?
like he was thinking like maybe we should add some cardio back before the qualifiers.
Yeah.
And I kind of told him, let's just keep trying to get big. And I'll do these on the side, see where I'm at cardio-wise if we just keep lifting. Yeah,
so 2022, basically, you're still lifting. You have a focus of this year's
this
qualifier.
Was the year I was
right, but you still wanted to test the workout. So, like, where were you? And once you did those workouts, did you feel like you were actually making progress? Were you frustrated, happy?
I was frustrated because I didn't do too well on, like, the cardio ones I usually do well on.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't really do too well on the lifts either. But it was like I wasn't planning to do good this year. It was like just a focus for next year.
Yeah. So that moves you into this year. And let's just talk about like from 2021, wherever your lifts were, to 2022, before we get into where you're at now. How much stronger did you get over the course of that year?
A lot stronger for me.
Yeah.
Like I'm still like I need to catch up to a few of the guys in front of me, but like I used to get like first on all the cardio ones and like 300th on the lifts, and now I'm like like middle pack for like 12th and 12th on like both, like evened out a little.
Right, which is so much better for the sport. Like obviously it's great to win a car, like any engine-based event, but if you're getting 300th, then it's just you can't be competitive because you're getting so many points. Or at the games, if you get last place in the event, then it costs you a ton. So you have to be in the middle of the pack for those.
It showed on the leaderboards. Like my best finish in 2021 was 8th in like any stage, and then this year, all 3 of the qualifying stages, I was above that.
Yeah. So give us some numbers, like some tangible numbers. Like snatch in 2021 was what?
Probably like 135.
Yeah. And then where was it last year in 2022?
Last year, I think it was like 175.
Yeah. So you made a 40-pound jump over the course of a year, which is huge. Yeah. Obviously, you want to keep having those, which is hard to do as you train. You'll find that out later on. But like if I just told somebody in the audience, hey, like, you know, you can get a 40-pound PR in a year, I think most people would take that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then how did that transition into this year?
Oh, well, now it's at 225.
225. So in 2 years, you have a 90-pound jump on your snatch. What about your clean?
Clean, I don't remember what it was at before. I think it was like 205, something like that. And now it's like 316.
316.
Yeah.
So over 100 pounds on your clean. That's super awesome.
A clean just really good for me.
Right. So going into this year, you've worked hard for the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. You and Max had this conversation that like, hey, I'm going to just kind of like ride 2022 out so that I can focus on 2023.
Yeah.
You go into the Open. Did you feel like you were back to your old, like I have a good engine, but I'm also now strong, or did you still have a lot of doubt in your head?
Well, I hadn't done a competition in a while, so I didn't really know where my cardio's at compared to everyone else. So I was just like, you know, the Open, I should pretty much be able to make it through pretty easy. It's like, I don't know, I'll give these everything and see where I land.
Yeah. And then what happened?
I got 5th, but it's still like my better than 8th.
Right. And you felt like, okay, I made some progress. I'm happy with where I'm at. What about the strength events? Did you feel confident with those?
Yeah, I did way better than I would have done in 2021 and 2022.
Yeah.
So,
with a thruster, where were you at there?
Like, I think it was 216. Or wait, no, it was 226.
Yeah. I mean, which is a good lift compared to what, probably 155 or 160 the year before, right? Yes. So then you go into quarterfinals. Did you have any expectations?
Well, when I saw the workouts, they were like okay for me, but then I was kind of worried because there were a lot of gymnastics, and I just focused on lifting and not gymnastics for like 2 years. So it was a good test to see where I was at.
Which ones were the most concerning?
I don't remember them exactly, but there was the clean one. I was a little scared because that's a lift, and then after that, was that the one with the ring muscle up thrusters in there, or no?
Was
that
semis?
That
was semis. Semis was ring muscle ups and thrusters. Yeah, quarterfinals. I don't remember the order of them for you guys.
Yeah, I remember I did that. It was like a 10-minute AMRAP, and clean was the first one. I was a little worried about the clean, but I ended up doing all right on the clean. I got like 6th.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, like that's such a huge improvement going from, you know, you're finishing in the 300s, 200s or 300s to now you can be competitive in that.
Yeah.
So going into semifinals, you know, now it's top 10 to make the games. Mm-hmm. In the past, that's like you got to fight for that spot. Were you pretty confident that you could qualify?
I was really scared. Like I had won quarterfinals, but that was like really good workouts for me.
Right.
And then when semis came out, the workouts were like not too good for me.
Yeah.
So I was really scared. And then after day 1, I was at like 5th, and I thought the last 2 would be pretty bad for me, but I ended up doing them pretty well, and I ended in 2nd.
Do you remember what the last 2 workouts were?
It was the rope climb, kettlebell step up, and burpee box jump over one.
Which movements you're not confident with?
Legless rope climbs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just grip endurance, lat fatigue, like what?
I'm not the best at those.
Okay.
We're getting better though.
Right. And where'd you finish in those workouts?
I think I finished I top 10, I think, in like all 3 of the last workouts.
Yeah. So you finished 2nd overall. Now you're looking toward the games, which is coming up in, I mean, really just a month's time, right?
Yeah.
What are the goals going into the games this year?
Well, to win. Always.
And what are the things that you guys are working on, like you and Max, as you sit down and prepare for the games, how you execute? What movements are you working on? What styles of workouts do you want to make sure that you're prepared for?
Just some really, like, not fun workouts. Honestly, like, most of the stuff he's been giving me is more cardio than lifting. But they're really not fun.
Yeah. But for you though, as you prepare for the games, like, are there things that you communicated with Max? Hey, I really want to make sure that I'm getting touches on, the sandbag or more muscle ups, more handstand push-ups.
Yeah. Like I'll tell him like a lift or like a movement that I'm like iffy with or can't really do too well. And he'll start programming them more and more. And like, we're like planning like towards the games where like I can put those in workouts and be fine with them.
Yeah. And let's say you get to the games, first couple workouts don't go your way. What have you learned over the last couple of years that will allow you to kind of stay focused as you get there and you can go through a full weekend?
Well, like one competition I did like really bad the first 2 workouts and was in like 10th, and I was like, oh, I don't even think I can make podium. And then I like didn't go like super hard on the 3rd and 4th, and then I ended up doing really good on the 5th and 6th and made it to like 2nd.
Yeah.
And if only I had gone hard that like middle day, I could have maybe won. So you just not to give up, just keep going.
That's one of the things that just talking to athletes, not only those that are new to the sport or like, let's say a teen or maybe someone that just hasn't competed. Most people get so frustrated by one bad workout or by 2 bad workouts. But over the course of the weekend, as you know now, like you talk about that event, it's so easy to check out and then you bomb the rest of them anyhow. Or like, that's why they call Saturdays and semifinals moving day, because you can make up a lot of ground in 2 or 3 workouts where all of a sudden you go from 20th to 10th or 10th to 2nd, where now you're competitive again and you have a chance on that last day, which over the games where there may be 7, 10, 12 events, there are a lot of opportunities for scoring.
Yes.
Cool. So talking about the games and this being your last year in the teen division, do you have a long-term goal of qualifying as an individual?
That is the goal.
Yeah.
So like after this year game, so I think we're gonna go try to get big again, so then I can hopefully make semis this next year or the year after.
Do you have like a legitimate goal of when you would want to make the games? Like how many years out? Have you guys talked about that?
I don't know. My guess would be like 2 or 3.
Yeah. So would you sit on the sideline for a year or 2, or do you want to test it next year?
Oh, I'll test it next year and see where I'm at.
What numbers do you think you need to be at as far as like your strength levels, cardio, all that to get to that level?
Like 275 snatch, 345 clean and jerk.
Yeah.
I can do with that.
And you've done some workouts with some of the guys in here, right? So you kind of know where you're at. Like what advantages have you found to training with athletes that are either in the individual division or a little bit better than you?
Well, it really humbles you.
Yeah.
You think you're like, okay, swimmer, and then you go there and you're like doggy paddling while they motorboat past you.
Yeah. I think one of the hardest things for people that are good in their own gym, or like you've always been really talented, you get to another level where everyone else is really good, and then you realize, wow, I still have a long way to go. But it's also like that you need that. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get to the next level. I remember like going from high school to college and playing football, and wow, now everyone is just as good. So now I have to continue to fight. Whereas in high school, it's like I'm the best player on the team. But like those shifts happen naturally, and learning how to overcome that is just going to allow you to be a better athlete.
Yeah.
Which person in the gym do you want to beat the most?
Well, David's like the closest in age, but Travis is the main goal.
Okay, so we'll wait till he retires. You can talk trash and beat him.
Hey, so when you got bigger, what changed for you, like mentally? Like, did you care that you were small? Was that like something or were you like, nah, fuck it, I'm awesome no matter what? Or was that like a insecurity of yours?
Not really. Like, I just thought like I'm trying to get better at CrossFit and I need to get bigger to do that. So.
When Max first talked to you about that, did you have automatic buy-in though? Because your whole training career has been going hard, doing a lot of training, which is a lot of camps out there. That's what they do. The problem with that, to get on a coaching soapbox for a second, is that only the cream rise to the top and only the well-developed rise to the top. So like if you're doing 3 sessions a day and you're going hard all the time and doing a lot of MetCons, you better have a really big strength base. You better have a pretty good endurance base, and you better have really good movement quality. And so you see in a lot of camps, the best get better that way because they're already good. But if you don't have the LeBron James and the Steph Currys of the world, the average person that's just trying to make the bubble, they usually get beat up and broken. And a lot of people that are listening to this know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So you're in the middle there, right? Like you obviously got good genetics, you got a huge base, you're able to adapt to strength work, but you're not really sure of which way to go. When Max tells you that, like, you probably should cut back. how hard is that for you? Like genuinely, how hard was that for you to say, okay, I'm willing to do this?
It took some changing because like I'd done that other way and it worked. I made it to the games. So I was like, oh, why am I switching stuff up? And I was like, that's why I switched to Max to change stuff up. So I'm just going to trust him, which I still added a bunch of extra reps right when we got going. I had to tone it back again, but I don't know. It paid off listening.
Yeah, I think it always does, especially if you stay healthy and you can continue to get stronger, because you're going to find this out as you are. I mean, you've seen the guys in the gym. As you move up to the next level, those weights, the strength numbers go up by another 30 to 50 pounds. And so you have to play catch up constantly if you're a little bit weaker. And then they're also just as, if not more, enduring than everyone else. So it's always this like battle to continue to improve both with your strength levels and your endurance. And I think, again, most people think that going hard and doing more equals more endurance and equals more strength, but in reality, like our bodies just aren't resilient enough for that unless you're doping, and most people don't know how to do it or they get caught, right? So like there has to be some kind of balance there of like making sure that recovery, so Max saying, hey, get 2 more hours of sleep and reduce 2 hours of training actually gives you more benefit. And I think I've asked this to people in the past, like if I told you you could get better with like this minimal amount of time, like 1 hour, I can get you really, really good. Or you can just plot along for 6 hours a day, but it's the same progress. Like no one's going to choose the 6 hours a day. Everyone's going to always do the minimum effective dose. And that makes the most sense because that means you can probably recover faster and do more high intensity workouts later on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
cool.
He like taught me I can like go to the gym, do like 3 heavy back squats and leave. And that's better than like 20 sets of 10 or like whatever.
100%. I mean, it really is. And I know people will complain in the comments and say, I don't feel like I got a workout in, but some days it's probably a good thing that you don't feel that way. Because if you always are feeling that way, then eventually like your baseline becomes you're beat up and broken, and you don't even, when you get to the point where you don't know if you're beat up, that's a bad place to be. And that happens to most CrossFitters that go into programs that are always going hard all the time, including ours. Like people have been overtrained in all of our programs individually or compete. And that's where we have to kind of help people pull back and help individualize the program a little bit.
Oh, I got an idea. So Brandon, when did you get into CrossFit? What year?
2012.
2012, 2009. What year did you get in?
Let's think. Like 2023 now, maybe like 2016.
Stay on that mic.
2016.
2016. Okay. So something I've been wondering. So we're old dudes, right? And we have all these opinions about the sport. There's a lot going on, but I'm always curious. Are we just the old heads over here, complaining about how it should be or how it used to be? What is the young kids, the young whippersnappers, what are y'all thinking about the sport and the future of the sport? Or do you even think about that?
Honestly, I don't really think about that. Like, there's only been a few teens who've like made it to the next level yet. I feel like we're still with most of like the people who were good back in like 2010 are like still doing good now. Like the teens haven't like moved to the next level yet.
But I mean, like about the sport in general, like will the sport be here in 5 years? The health of the sport. What do you think about all the controversies that pop up? Do you care about that, or is it like you're just excited as hell to go in and get a workout and you don't care where the sport goes? Sorry, I should have been more clear when I first said it.
Well, I would want it to keep being competitive, but if it doesn't, it's okay. Like I still have fun doing it. It definitely gets some hate at school for the butterfly pull-ups.
Oh yeah, what do they say?
Well, they say I'm like humping the air or whatever. That's the main reason most people don't go into CrossFit. It's like all the hate on Instagram Reels and.
Yeah,
is it still strong these days?
Well,
it's
with
the
my
CrossFit
friends,
hate? Yeah.
Yeah.
There are 2 types of people that do that. One that are genuinely like, that doesn't make much sense. Like, why would you kip a pull-up? And then the other is like the person that just wants to make fun of it because they can't do it. Like the person that's
I always
like,
ask them, they're like, they can't do it.
Right. But I do understand that first critique of, a lot of strength coaches, especially back in the day, were like, well, you're not really like targeting what you think. Yeah, you're trying to target, or you're not actually getting stronger and you're risking hurting your shoulder girdle, let's say, for butterfly pull-ups. And that's true, but only for those that aren't strong enough to begin with. Like a good training program would obviously get someone stronger in the shoulder, teach them how to do strict pull-ups, and then they would develop the capacity to do butterfly pull-ups. But to be fair to those people, back in 2010 and 11, like when Chris Spieler was doing 100 pull-ups per time, like most people were jumping up and just doing those and learning how to butterfly, but they couldn't even do one strict pull-up. So there is like this like kind of ebb and flow of like learning good quality and getting strong enough in the joint, as opposed to just going out and doing silly movements that look like you're humping the air, as your friends would say.
When you got into it, who were some of the people some of the people in the sport that you looked up to?
Well, Rich Froning was first, and then Frazier was kind of like while I was getting into it competitively.
Oh, so only the guys that win, huh?
Yeah, only the winners.
Only the winners. They're the only ones that matter. I don't blame
you. If you're not first, you're last.
Then everyone in the world except for one person's always last.
Yes.
Think about it that way.
Well, that's like who gets all the like money, really.
Yeah, well, in this sport, yes, but there are guys making $25 million on the bench in the NBA. So
yeah, I know. That's what I'm
just the wrong sport.
You just got to win in this sport.
It really is funny that most people are only drawn to the person that wins in this sport. Like, you got a bunch of Rich Froning fans, a bunch of Frazier fans, or Tia Toomey, and that's it.
Who got second last year?
How do you explain Danny Spiegel?
Well,
Isn't she the most Googled CrossFit?
That's a different world. All right, let me ask you a legit question, since they're both your favorite. Who's better at CrossFit, Rich Froning or Matt Frazier?
Well, I think it depends. Like, Rich Froning's beat Matt Frazier in competition before, and that was like the last time they really competed head to head. So I guess Rich Froning's.
But couldn't you say if Rich would have come back the next year, he would have lost?
I think he would have.
Yeah. So then,
he dropped out at a smart time. Well, it's like Frazier is better now when the sport is better now. So I think Frazier would have been better. But like if Rich did it now, he would have been caught up with however like the fitness.
How about this?
Now.
If both of them were in their primes and going at the same time, let's say we reset the timeline and they start together, who's winning? Because I'm picking Rich every day.
Oh, I would pick Frazier.
Yeah, Frazier wins by a lot too.
No, I'm picking Rich.
Froning's times in his prime would get beat by 30%, 40% of the field right now, which is a big chunk. I mean, that's 15 plus.
Rich Froning's still the GOAT because like he kind of like changed the sport.
He's the original man. I think Rich is awesome.
Beat him though.
But it's like the same argument that you have in the NBA or like who's the best.
No, I think if you put them together and they had to and they were both fresh, Rich would just care more.
Rich didn't have the power output in some tests, and he also was a really bad runner. Whereas Frazier, not the best runner, but he always did okay in those events. He could swim a little bit better than Rich, and he had the ability to go hard in those workouts.
If Frazier was on his tail, I think he would have found that next level to care.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, he was dominating. They both dominated, so it's an interesting. But again, the field got much better over the last 5 years, and Frazier was still dominating that field where there were 40 guys, or let's say not 40, 30.
Froning's still getting better right now. He's still going crazy on teams.
Yeah, I mean, he's not as good as he was though.
Yeah,
he just can't. And that part of that is like that happens as you get older. That's not a knock on him. He's still unbelievable, but I just don't see. I think I would pick Frazier.
I agree with you. I'm Frazier.
When workouts are hard and like you're in the pain cave, what motivates you to push through that?
Right now it's David Goggins. I just think him whenever I'm like grinding a run or whatever. I always watch him on Instagram, and I don't know, that's what pushes me through to like not stop.
What's something
crazy? Goggins is
what's something you would hear him saying to you?
I don't even know. Just like I just imagine him like running. He's done way harder stuff, like 100-mile runs, which sound like impossible. Like I'll be done in like 20 minutes. Just got to keep going.
Yeah. I think for mentality that he's a good one to follow.
Yeah.
But he's also broken. 2 really bad knees, can barely walk. Probably not who you want to emulate.
And now the most important question, how did you obtain the Instagram handle CrossFit Goals? That seems like a pretty solid one to be able to say you got, right?
Yeah, I made it up because like a bunch of other ones I tried didn't work.
What were your first picks?
I don't even
Did
remember.
everyone start with CrossFit? Was it like CrossFit number 1?
And then I was actually going to switch it to like just Kaiden Hogan something, but like I think it was why I had like a manager at the time and he told me don't switch it. So I was like one of the pop-ups when you search up CrossFit.
Oh, really? Wow,
Yeah.
that's the way to do it. I'm surprised CrossFit hasn't reached out to you. And yeah, like
I don't have too many followers.
I'm just saying, still, like they got, back in the day, anything that had CrossFit on it, they would send you a cease and desist.
Oh yeah.
So I'm shocked that they have it.
They act like they don't now, but they definitely did.
Well, they're like, oh, it's a teen. I'm not gonna mess with this.
As soon as you age up, that thing's going away.
At 18, boom. All right, let's end with some fun questions, Chris. If you have any, you can post
stall
those on
for a
Instagram.
second so I can get Instagram pulled up.
I'll ask you some of my favorite questions. Chris and I have already talked about this, but if you had unlimited money, and this can't be like an asset, like you can't buy a house or car, whatever, just like something that you would use every day. If you had unlimited money, what's the first thing you would buy?
It can't be a house or a car.
Yeah, no. It's got to be like something that you would use though, or a person that would do something. Well, yeah, that's fair.
Let's see, like gym wise or like whatever.
Yeah, you name it.
Whatever you want.
Whatever
What's
you
the
want.
Main thing. What do you want?
Well, I would like.
No, besides those.
My mom is like the main goal.
Oh,
which would be buy a house or a car for my mom.
Yeah,
that's
fair. You just give her some money.
Yeah.
All right. You got any more, Brandon?
No. Go ahead.
We'll go back to those. Please ask him what kind of limiters he had when he first started CrossFit besides strength. Any movement specifics or anything?
Well, I didn't do split jerk for forever. I'd always just do like a push press. I don't know why I cannot figure it out. Which when I finally learned, I got like 50 pounds more just from switching up my technique, which kind of shows like techniques.
You would push press even if you split, or you would never split your feet?
I would never split or like push jerk.
Yeah.
I would always
you just wouldn't get underneath the bar.
No.
Yeah.
I'd be like
that's a huge,
horrible
a huge disadvantage that you had there.
Oh, as a teenage athlete, how do you balance training, school, family, and friends?
Well, over school, I've started changing now more social, but it was more just like I would like wake up, train, go to school, and then train, and go to bed every day.
Fun day.
And then the weekends I would like train and hang out with friends. But now over summer, I'd like train till like 6 or 7, and then I hang out with people after there.
With all the stuff in the CrossFit media as of late being about teenage burnout, do you read that stuff and have any thoughts on it?
I didn't even know that's what they were talking about.
Oh, really?
No. I don't know. We'll see. If I win the games, I don't care if I burn out.
There you go. What's your favorite supplement?
I don't really take any supplements. Like the only thing I do like Core Power protein shakes.
Man, they are really good.
Yeah, they've
like pleasantly surprised when if we're traveling, I always buy one at the gas station. And they're always pretty good. Nice.
Okay, how to balance between school life and CrossFit? You kind of already touched on that, right?
Yeah.
That you don't?
Just don't. I didn't work out.
If you multiplied his GPA by 100, would he be able to squat and or squat clean it?
No.
What is your GPA?
Like 4.3.
Okay. Well done.
Yeah.
Although now, like in high school, it's this weird scale. You couldn't get over 4.0 when I was in school.
Yeah, do you actually try in school? Like, are they holding y'all to a standard, or do they just let you get away
the U.S.
with
education system's a joke now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you feel
ChatGPT gets everything?
Do you feel like it is a joke that you go in there and really just fool them and they tell you you're smart?
Yes.
Nice.
I haven't learned anything.
That's amazing. Is the nickname?
Is it though?
No, it's not. It's terrible. We're screwed.
We need to have a podcast on that.
Uh,
Is the nickname changing from Little Kaiden to Big Kaiden?
Medium Kaiden.
Do you have any actual nicknames that you want to let us know about?
I said it earlier.
Big Kaiden?
Yeah.
What do they call you?
K-Dog? Yeah, that one was said on a throwdown.
The K-Dog?
I think so.
I think we did call you
I've heard that somewhere.
Ask him about the run and dumbbell movement workout at a competition he did last summer. From Logan Brown. Do you know this guy?
Oh, yeah, I do know him. Yeah, he beat me.
Nice.
But that's probably why
talking trash.
Yeah. Don't worry. Give me a few more years when I'm his age.
Hey, give him
he
something.
Won't touch me.
Give him something that he couldn't beat you in.
He couldn't beat me in.
And then,
I can't
Logan.
say running now. Crap.
You're screwed. We can just edit that part out.
No. Not screwed. I gotta think.
Where's Logan live? Get his little butt in here.
I tried. He doesn't want to come to Think Tank.
Oh, too scared?
Yeah, he's too scared.
Nice.
I was texting him yesterday. We're gonna try to train together one day, but yeah, he beat me on that workout. I'll give him that.
He's
He's never been into the games.
Oh, he's never been to the
Never
games?
been to the games.
Oh, he sounds like me. He's got his one little thing he's good at, and he'll hold it over your head the rest of the days.
That's what I'm saying. I hope he sees this.
How did he stay consistent with gaining strength? What motivated him?
It was like I really wanted to catch the other guys. Like getting 8th of the games when I knew I could have podiumed, I think. I was like, I really got to leave it not to chance in 2 years. And I was like, I like doing it no matter what, like competition or not. So it's like, may as well put my focus into lifting instead of just running forever.
Like Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Well, have you ever seen that movie, or is this something kids don't watch anymore?
Oh no, I like that movie. I've seen that a lot.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Long movie.
It's a long movie?
Yeah, it's pretty long.
Is it?
They need like 60-minute movies now.
Yeah. Can you give us your best Forrest Gump impression? Someone wants to.
No.
I'm just kidding. Bulking up got you slowing down, or you still run fast as fuck?
It's a little different. It's like I feel like I run with like my quads now instead of like I'm not as jumpy. I get like.
I mean,
I
there's a
feel
big difference
heavy on
from
my
98
feet.
to 150 pounds.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing track sessions now. I'm getting a little back to where I was.
Nice. And you already said how much you weigh now, right?
Yeah, like around
One more time.
150.
What?
150.
150.
What's the long-term goal?
Like 185.
And how tall are you?
Like 5'5".
5'5". So you're like perfect. How tall's Frazier?
Like 5'8", 5'9".
5'8". So you just get a couple more inches,
We're
bulk up, you're good.
Next
You
Frazier,
don't want to get
baby.
too tall, right?
Oh yeah.
No. You
Not for
can't,
the sport.
Yeah. I mean, that's what
I don't think
like,
that's what I
Fikowski
got
is
to
so
worry
impressive.
about.
Gabby from our gym, you should do a team podcast and get all of us on there. LOL. Nah.
Wow.
Nah, I already told her about it.
Go Gators,
She can
Gabby.
come on whenever she wants. All right, that's all we got. Brandon, go ahead and hit us with some more quick fires, and we'll wrap this up.
I actually wanted to know what yours was. I don't think we've ever talked about that on the podcast.
what?
If I gave you unlimited money, what's the first thing that you would buy?
I'm sure I have an answer, but I want it to be cool, and I'm panicking.
We've talked about this. Mine would be a personal chef, like someone that just makes all my food. They go and buy my food, everything fresh. Yeah, I mean, think about how nice that would be. Where you maybe you're not as concerned, but you need to gain weight.
Yeah.
So having someone that helps you, that instead of having those gummies that you have on the floor right now, you have a nice spread every single meal that you had, all your snacks taken care of. It just you're thinking hard right now, Chris.
I don't know. I think I would buy like a new memory because I don't have a good memory.
Well, you can get the what's it? Neuralink.
Neuralink.
Elon Musk's thing. Yeah. I wonder how much those will be.
Yeah. What? I feel like we got to get something else out of Kaiden here. We don't really know this guy.
All
He's
right.
just, you train.
Your favorite CrossFit movement?
I like handstand walking. I like that.
On the beach?
Anywhere.
Yeah, taking
anything.
Pictures on Instagram?
Yes.
Your least favorite CrossFit movement?
Honestly, it used to be up towards my favorite, but not anymore. Like thrusters. Do not like them. Max keeps giving me way too many. I don't like 'em.
Something to get. All right, give me one. Actually, just the worst, the hardest workout that Max has given you.
So many. Honestly, he gave me, it was just because we did it a bunch of times. There's that one open workout. It was like 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 of dumbbell snatch, and then 15.
Oh, the burpee.
facing,
Yeah.
or
Burpee box jump over. Yeah.
Yeah. He gave me that like once or twice a week for like a month. And that was like the worst month ever.
The same exact workout.
Yeah. Because I was really bad at it. And I was like trying to get my cardio back. And I was telling him those were like things I wanted to get better at. So he just kept killing me.
All right. So I'm going to give you guys a workout that Max gave a bunch of people back in the day. This was like 2013 and 14. And I'm going to mess up the order, but you'll get the point. It was 100 shipper. And it was 100 thrusters at 135, 100 cal row, 100 squat cleans at 135, 100, I think it was toe to bar. It may have been chest to bar. He probably switched it in and out. And then it finished with 100 wall balls. Dang. That workout was...
Partner or low?
No. Alone.
135 thrusters?
Yes.
Oh, my Lord.
It was absolutely brutal. The workouts back in the day were way harder than they are now. But that also, to be fair, the workouts at regionals or whatever, I guess it was regionals back then, sectionals, whatever it was, they were harder then too. Or at least they were like that. It was like 100 chipper every single year. And yeah, super long, hard, grindy, where you take a lot of breaks, but you had to do like sets of 5. But that workout was probably the hardest I've ever done.
What about social media? Do you like doing social media?
Sometimes I'm like, oh, I do not want to make a post, and like I go like a week or two without posting, but then.
Do you feel like you have to?
When I had my manager, he got me on like this plan, which it helped, but then we kind of separated. See, he went to do something with the Buttery Bros, so he like stopped what he was doing with managing people. But now I just post whenever I do something cool.
Yeah.
Do you get on there and check out other people?
Oh yeah, most of the time I'm like looking at other people.
Oh, so you're on there every day then? It's not
pretty much. Yeah.
Do you ever catch yourself in the mindless scrolling?
Yes, a lot.
Yeah. Do you like that about yourself?
I don't know. Like
when you look back, do you feel like, man, I wish I kind of had that time back, or is it like, nah, that was time?
Well, I usually I don't go more than like 20 minutes. It's like some people go crazy. I guess 20 is still a lot, but like some people go like an hour, and I'm like, that's insane.
Yeah. Well, even with the 20, and I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just saying, even with the 20, does it feel bad when you're done? Like
usually I'm like eating. Like I can't really eat without a video now. I guess I'm watching iPad.
Man, dude, it really is crazy. Yeah.
Like I like sit there without an iPad or a phone or whatever, and I'm like, guys,
I gotta chew this.
This like sounds horrible.
I gotta sit here and talk to someone.
Oh man, that's great. Yeah.
That's scary. I need to make sure my kids are on their iPads when they eat. We let them they'll get on there every once in a while they're eating, and I'm like, it really is
I'm
bad.
addicted now. Like, I like eat food. I need my phone or something.
Oh, I've done that too. Like I'll sit in here if I'm like eating lunch or whatever, and I'll be looking on my phone too.
What about YouTube? Are you a big YouTube watcher?
Not really. Like more so like just Instagram. I watch YouTube sometimes though.
Yeah. Do you have any? Okay, I have a lot of thoughts about younger kids and your attention span sucking. And I say that because I can feel mine sucking. And I feel like y'all are you just said you don't watch a lot of YouTube. You prefer Instagram, which tells me right away it's shorter, which means that you must be way more screwed than me. Do you have any thoughts on your attention span?
Yeah, like long drives I usually don't like, but yeah, I usually like even on YouTube I'll like watch like the YouTube shorts or whatever. Like I usually don't watch
And there's no part of you that's like, man, I want to dive into something longer than 2 minutes?
Well, if I do, then it's like maybe like a movie on Netflix or something.
So like this podcast you would have already turned off.
Yeah, I've never finished the Think Tank podcast. I like turn it on, I watch the intro, and I'm like, all right.
Is that not crazy to you?
Well, I was kind of like born into it, so no, not really. I feel like everybody does it.
So I wonder what this means for the next generation of podcasts. Like as like his age grows up, will podcasts not be a thing? Any long form?
Well, I just wonder if
With all the podcasts, I just watched like the YouTube shorts of the podcast.
That's so
like
crazy.
Andrew Tate and Joe Rogan and their podcast, I just watch like the clips of what they say.
And like that doesn't ever interest you to want to go listen to the full thing?
The only one I watch like the full thing is like, I think his name's Vaughn Davis. He's got a cool mullet. I watch him
Theo
all the
Vaughn.
time. Yeah, Theo Vaughn. He's
Jesus.
really funny.
Man,
I like
the
that
way to
guy.
manipulate a culture is the shorts.
Yeah.
You think about it. So like, because you can
hold
hear
on.
one
Andrew
thing
Tate
get
did
clipped.
that. Now look at him. He's like most searched guy in the world.
Hold on. So you will listen to Theo all the way through? Sometimes.
Yeah.
How often? What percentage of the times you see a short do you go actually do the whole thing?
Oh, well, his like podcast just show up my Instagram or YouTube feed. So I just watch them.
Give me a ballpark of how often you'll watch a full thing, though.
Maybe like once a week.
Once a week?
Once every 2 weeks.
And then after you do watch the full thing, does it make you be like, yeah, that was cool. This was better than just a short?
No. Honestly, I like this short.
Do you think when you get older that you're going to be like talking to some young kid next to you and be like, why do you only watch those 6-second videos? Back in my day, we used to have a full 90 seconds and we'd get everything out of those.
I don't know. I don't really focus on that.
Have you ever read a book?
Oh, yeah, for school. Well,
No, not for school.
That sentence fell apart. Oh, yeah. No, actually never.
Well, I was thinking for school, like, honestly, no. I don't even do it for school. Like, there's, like notes that you can, like, just read and, like, summarize
A cliff
whole
note?
chapter. Yeah, cliff notes, yeah.
Wow.
I don't think I've definitely read a book before.
What about Harry? You did the Harry Potter books?
No, that's way too long.
Um,
Those ones are like huge.
Man, the world is changing rapidly.
Yeah, I read like 2 pages. I'm like, why am I doing this? I'm gonna go to Cliff Notes and I'll get 100 on the test.
What about music? What kind of music are you into?
Honestly, I'm into whatever. Like some rap, some country.
And do you seek like certain bands out, and like do you have like bands you like, or is it just like whatever the algorithm pops out on your Spotify?
Yeah, whatever sounds good, and I'm like, oh, I like this, and then I'll over-listen to it for a week, and then want a new song.
Man, it is funny that now rap and country go like they're synonymous.
Yeah.
I feel like even when we were growing up, they were like, at least where I lived, like people were like, a lot of the people where I lived, like their two genres were country and rap.
Really?
And you'd be like, what? But that was but then you talk to everybody and it's everybody and you're like, why are all y'all so confused? All of y'all like country and rap. Yeah.
That wasn't a thing. I mean, maybe in high school, like when Nelly and Tim McGraw and all those people got together and started
I'm not even talking
collabs.
about the crossover. I'm talking about people would listen to country
and
they
they would
also listen
so
to rap.
they'd have a playlist that'd have both on it and it'd just go
yeah.
back and forth. Really?
Yeah.
Do you listen to country and rap?
Yeah, it's like all over the place.
Yeah.
It could be like a hard.
Do you have a
rap
favorite
and then
genre?
Country. No. Like I usually like more kind of like slower rap, not like crazy fast.
Like
or,
some Marvin
loud.
Gaye, maybe some Luther Vandross.
See,
a little
I don't
Anita.
know
Who those
any-
are?
I don't know anybody. Like even like the people now, like I don't know any like people who sing the songs or make the songs. I just know this song.
Wow.
All right. What's your go-to if you're about to do a hard workout?
Honestly, it changes like every like
This week.
This week. Honestly, it isn't even rap. It's like Hard Times. I made a post with it, but I've been listening to that song.
I don't know what it is.
Do you feel like you find your
Left
music
hand.
from the Instagram popular songs? Is that how you find music?
Sometimes. Because
God,
like
I
even
hate
though
this world.
like with those songs, it's like the only good part is the bit you see on Instagram, and the rest of the song is kind of trash. So I don't really like listening to those.
Wait,
ones.
is there a function that you can search through songs?
No,
on
like
Instagram?
that's how Instagram operates now. One tastemaker will make a good video, and then everybody on the planet will use the same thing for their video.
each week, and then it switches?
Yeah.
So it's more about what's on the video, like that's getting you excited, and then you like the song.
Oh no! Like
It's like everybody getting to play the game. It's like everyone getting to make their own little recipe.
Oh, it
using
just
the
becomes
same
like a viral
ingredient.
thing where,
Yeah.
Okay, I see. I just don't, I hate social media.
Yeah.
I don't ever go on there.
Talk some shit to us for being old people. Come on, let us have it. I want to.
Well, if I'm real, I don't use social media too much. Like other than Instagram, that's the only thing. But even then, it's like most of the people I follow aren't like people I know. It's just like random crap to watch.
Yeah. What about going outside? You do that? People do that these
a lot,
days?
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
most
play
of
in the
the
woods
time-
growing up?
Yeah.
Did you have a
Really?
bike and you'd go down?
guns and everything.
Oh, man, I love it. See, there we go. We're not that far off.
Oh, you did. So you were
Yeah.
like a kid who went out and played.
Yeah.
Nice.
Got in trouble a few times for cutting down trees.
That's awesome. I mean, that's what we did growing up.
Do you feel like a lot of kids did, or were you kind of like the
Oh
anomaly?
no, I was alone, just with my dogs in the woods.
Really?
Yeah.
So your friends wouldn't play with you there?
No.
Man, I like force my kids to go outside and go play. I'm like, just play a game. You know, make one up. It's so much better that way.
How old were you when you got your first iPad?
Oh, well, I was always like a phone. I never had like an iPad.
Oh yeah.
But I think I was like
Parents holding out on you, huh?
13.
13 when you got
maybe.
your first phone?
Yeah, it was like one of my parents' phones, and they got an upgrade, so they gave me theirs.
Mm.
My little sister, though, she got hers at like 7 or 8.
Ugh.
And she's like, was Roblox like hour on the toilet. On the
Oh yeah.
phone,
How about that? Do you play any video games, or did you?
Clash
Get
of
on- back
Clans.
on the mic.
That's it. Clash of Clans. It's the only like game
Clash
I
of
really
who?
play.
I've
You
heard
know
someone talk
Clash
about
of
that.
Clans?
Uh-uh.
Oh, y'all need to get on. That's
No.
that's a good game.
Yeah.
I couldn't sit there and do that mindlessly.
So
No,
your
it's
whole
like-
life you only played one game, and it was that?
Well, there's been a few others like Subway Surfer and Angry Birds.
Chris is
Come and
playing
go.
Angry
the new
Birds.
Zelda game right now.
The new Zelda game. Yeah, he
I heard
wouldn't
you
have
talking
the
about
patience for that. That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, Clash of Clans is like it takes like days loading some stuff when you upgrade, but
Yeah.
Just to like download the.
then you just don't go in the game for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Were you good at soccer?
Oh, we went to nationals last summer, in like
Oh,
California.
you're still playing?
Still playing.
No, that was last summer.
Oh,
I quit it now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you miss it?
Oh, I still play a bunch of like my friends and do like rec and like just mess around.
How
Sunday
often?
League. I don't know. I definitely play like with friends or messing around like 3 or 4 times a week. Maybe.
You have a favorite team? Do you keep up with the sport?
Not really. I never really kept up. I guess like I'm a Messi fan, so whatever
Yeah.
team he's on.
Well, he's in Miami now. Yeah. So I just read an article. He's going to make $60 million next year. 1 year, make $60 million.
Do you see his house? His house is crazy.
Nuts, man. And he got equity in the team and some other things. I mean, really good contract for him. And he's at the back end of his career.
Yeah.
Really is an awesome thing.
All right, final questions. What shows and movies did you watch growing up or now?
Walking Dead. I watched a bunch.
And when did it start sucking for you?
Oh, like right after Rick died.
Wait, when did Rick die?
You know.
No, I quit on that show after like season 2.
I've never watched it.
Season 2?
Yeah, after.
I've watched that show like 100 times.
And you don't think it started getting crappy, huh?
No, I like it a lot, except for when Rick died.
And did you watch it all in like 90-second intervals, or?
No, I watched that.
He's watching the shorts.
If they put out a shorts version of Walking Dead, would you watch it?
Well, I also watch like Family Guy, which is kind of like really short.
Yeah.
The Office, pretty short. Friends.
You watch Friends?
Wow, good for you.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's old school.
What do you think when you watch those like 90s shows? Are you like, what the hell?
Well, that one's good. I like the actors in that one.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. The Office, I never got into.
The
Everyone
Office is
says
great.
Yeah, no, everyone's. I mean, I
South
literally
Park?
don't watch shows. Like I don't.
So it's
turn my
not that
TV
it's
on.
not that you didn't like it. It's
No.
just you never really tried it.
No, I watched a couple in college, but I don't know. I won't sit down and watch a movie now. Like I'd much rather read a book or listen to a audiobook. I'm just a weirdo.
Nice.
What about Family Guy and like Southpaw?
No.
Those are really good.
South Park?
Yeah, South Park.
Yeah.
Southpaw.
You know, I was that came out when I was in 3rd grade, and I was one of the few kids who got to watch it. And then
Family
I bought
Guy or
You
South
were
Park.
watching that.
And then I had
Great.
and then I went to the mall and I bought a shirt that had Cartman on it. And he's sitting on the couch and the shirt just says, "Yeah, I want cheesy poofs," which is a shout out to episode 1 or 2. And I remember the next day after I wore that shirt in school, they came over the intercom and they were like, "Attention, no more wearing vulgar cartoon apparel to the shirt." And it was just me. I was
They were like
"Whoa."
that guy over there.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
OG South Park fan over here.
Oh yeah.
All right, my friend. Thanks for coming on.
All right.
Where can they follow you?
CrossFit Goals on Instagram.
All right. Slide into his DMs.
Yep.
If you need help getting better at things like the snatch, clean and jerk, pistols, handstand walk, handstand push-ups, toes to bar, chest to bar, ring muscle-ups, or double unders, go to trainingthinktank.com to learn more.